loud. Welcome, everybody. Thank you so much for coming to the NextTribe trip preview for Vietnam, Vietnam 2025. This is our second year running this trip, and we are so excited to take women back to Vietnam because they had such a good time. I think I mentioned on a prayer call that the women who went last year connected so well with each other that they've set up a pajama party, 2-day pajama party in Phoenix at the home of one of the women. And it's just great to see groups gel to that degree. It's pretty amazing. And several of them are coming to San Miguel with me this year for Day of the Dead. So I am looking forward to seeing them there, and I'm looking forward to presenting this to you. And I'm going to share my screen right now so I can get to the presentation. And Marcy is going to be doing a drawing, $400 off. Got to stay on the call, got to be present to win. But you, hold on, let me get rid of that. But you get $400 off the trip, and you can combine it with the $100 membership. So that's $500 off if you sign up. So some of you I know have already signed up. You're still eligible. Lucky you. So we're looking forward to having you on the trip with us. And anybody who's still on the fence, I hope this presentation will be enjoyable to you. Terry, I don't know, you can't see the screen, but are you going to be watching the screen, or you want to watch a recording of the screen and just listen into the presentation?
No, I'm watching and I see the screen.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you very well, very low.
Yes, I'm watching and I can see the screen.
Oh, you can see it? Okay, good. All right.
Yes.
Well, here we are with Vietnam. We're going to northern Vietnam. This is a beautiful country. The nature there is just beautiful. I was really surprised when we got out of the city at how striking, especially when we're on the water, when you see these karsts. But on the land, when you look at that left picture there, these karsts, these rock formations rise up out of the rice paddies and out of the land, and they're just so striking. They're very difficult to climb, but we have one that we climb that has steps on it, so it's a little bit easier. But Vietnam is just an incredible country, very friendly to Americans and foreigners. It's very set up for tourism. I have traveled all over Asia, and I will say that I think Vietnam is one of the more traveler-friendly countries that you could go to. China's pretty difficult to travel around in. I lived in Korea for 2 years. But Vietnam is a wonderful place to travel in, and it's a pretty fantastic itinerary that we have. Okay, so I want to click to the next slide, and here we go. I have to get myself out of the way here. Here we go. So the guides are me. I'm the trip leader from NextTribe, and that means I'm there to make sure that everything goes smoothly, that if anybody wants to do something in particular that's not on the itinerary, we try to accommodate or find a way for you to get to a place that you want to see. Last year, there was one woman who really wanted to go to a particular museum, and we helped her get there. And Ly Mae Pham is the local guide, and she is a Vietnamese born and raised in Vietnam, has guided trips there for 20 years all over the country. She has many sisters, and she tells us the stories of all of her sisters, including one that has a very dramatic story. I don't want to spoil it for you, but she told us one of the last days of the trip, and we were all really amazed by this story. Anyway, Ly Mae Pham was born near Sapa and is a member of the Dao Hill tribe. She's led trips all over the world, all over Vietnam, and she knows the history and culture of Vietnam. And it's her personal insights and experience that makes it so memorable. Just learning what the life of a Vietnamese woman is like. She's the breadwinner for the family. Her husband also works in tourism. She has 2 young kids, but she is the main breadwinner, which is a little bit unusual in Vietnam, but as she said, not that unusual. So her story is very interesting, and you'll love it when you hear it. This is my second time leading the trip. I lived in Korea for 2 years. I was a CNN reporter. I've traveled widely in Asia. Last year was my first time there, but I just fell in love with it. And I told Jeannie Ralston, I'm laying claim to this trip because it's so much fun. This is Hanoi, capital city, full of motorcycles and all kinds of ways to get around. It's a very busy and bustling city, as many cities in Asia are. I happen to love that kind of energy. And on this trip, there's a nice balance between an urban experience and a rural experience, and then one on the water. So I think that is a nice itinerary that Ms. Pham and Vicky, who is our local person on the ground who helped us with the itinerary, we all put this together. The lower left picture is Train Street. When the trains come through 3 or 4 times a day, people have to jump out of the way. And we're not always there when the trains come through, but we can find out what time it happens. And if you really want to see it, maybe one afternoon you could walk over there and see it. It's very close to one of the restaurants we go to. It's a Michelin star restaurant, wonderful food. We liked it so much that we asked to go back the last night as well. We start our trip at the Peridot Grand Hotel. It's a beautiful, really strikingly beautiful hotel, right on the edge of the old quarter. And it has a beautiful rooftop pool. And right above this pool is a little bar. And then down in the basement of this hotel is the most incredible buffet I have ever seen in my life, with everything from Chinese food. I mean, really everything was delicious. Chinese food, French food, American food, other food from other parts of Asia. It was, I swear, it must have been 30 yards long and really wide. And it just blew my mind. I've never seen a buffet like this in my life. And people were just raving about it. So everybody ate breakfast every day, and breakfast is included in the trip. The first time we went there last year, we did this night market trip the first night, and it was a little overwhelming because people had just gotten there. They were a little jet lagged. We were having to dodge the motorcycles and so forth. But it's really exciting to go to the night market, and it's really worth it. And Anthony Bourdain, Anthony Bourdain said that Vietnam was his favorite country. And he went there multiple times, I think 3 or 4 times. If you have a chance to watch Parts Unknown or any of his, maybe another series was shot there too. Anyway, it's really worth seeing, and you'll want to eat the pho there, which we do on the street, on those little stools. You'll want to drink the egg coffee, which is kind of like eggnog with a little coffee in it, and have the banh mi. We just have all the traditional dishes in the best places to have them in the old town. And then this is an option. You can add a pottery class. I didn't do this last year because it was too full with our people, but they had a good time. And you make the pottery there. They help you. And then they bring it to the hotel afterwards. So before we leave on our trip north, they bring our pottery to us. And it's nice to make something when you're in another country, because it's a tangible representation of your own experience, actually getting your hands into the clay there, especially. And as you'll see in the food is also good. Food's coming up next. We went to the Vietnamese Women's Museum last year as an option. Other people did other things, but I went there with a few women, and we really loved it, because these pictures don't represent it as well, but there are so many different areas of the museum that show you about women's lives, how they give birth, how they marry, the kinds of dresses they wear when they marry and so forth, and all the rituals. I found that really fascinating, and I think a lot of people would like it. This is another option. You can sign up for the cooking class. The chef here takes you out shopping in the market for the food that you're going to prepare. And then he teaches you how to prepare it. They did spring rolls, which is wonderful. Everybody likes Vietnamese spring rolls. And then you eat what you cook. Then we have time because we try to chill out. Usually the flights get in around between 10 and midnight from the US. So people really want to chill the next day and maybe 2 days after. So there's a lot of free time built into the schedule the days that we're in Hanoi. Then we head up to Sapa, which is where Miss Pham is from. And it's a beautiful part of the country. We happened to, last year, we ran the trip at the same time and we had gorgeous weather. It was sunny every day. And you don't always get that lucky with weather, but hopefully we will. We have pretty good weather luck on NextTribe generally. So, and then we go up, you'll see temples like this. You'll see the mountainside. It's really picturesque. And this outfit down here on the right, that's from Miss Pham's Hill Tribe, the Dao tribe. That's her. And they make all their own outfits too. And this could even be one of her sisters. I'm not sure. But the villages on the way up, the rice will have already been harvested. So you won't see the green rice plantations and the terraced rice hills, but you'll see the hills, but they won't be verdant green because of the time of year. But it's still beautiful. It's a nice ride. Then we end up at the Silk Path Hotel, which is a beautiful upgrade from the hotel we had last year. The hotel was fine last year. I thought it was nice, had a beautiful, gorgeous views. But this one is even nicer and has a spa and pool and plenty of time, again, built into the schedule for you to do your own thing. If you want to have spa treatments or you want to go out with a Hill Tribe member and go out and explore in the hills, we can arrange for that too, as an option. There is the town of Sapa. It's a little strange because it's kind of like Vegas. It's very lit up at night. It's not big. It's a small place. But if you've ever been in like maybe 60,000, 70,000 population Asian cities, they do like the bright lights at night. So it's a little jarring when you first go out at night for dinner because it just doesn't feel very like rural at all. But we do go out into Miss Pham's village and we go to her house for lunch. We spend the day at her house actually, and we have a lunch that they prepare for us, and then we learn batik. If you want to do batik, you can go on a little walk around there around her village, or you can get in these soaking baths that are herbal baths that these women said they, and again, I didn't do it because there weren't enough tubs. Even though there's one empty in the back, there was somebody coming into that one. So I didn't do this herbal bath last year, but you could be darn sure that I'll figure out a way to get myself in them because people said it was amazing last year. And her sisters give a massage afterwards. And the women who had the massages said they were some of the best they'd ever had. And it could be because you're so relaxed because the herbs, it's local herbs. They pick them off the trees right there in her village. This little funicular goes up to the top of the mountain, and some of the women rode that last year, so they had a fantastic view. I didn't ride that because I was with the rest of the group, but they loved it. And then there's this waterfall, this silver waterfalls. You can get out and walk up to that. It's not a very far walk. It's like 10, 15 minutes. And we walk up to this little mountain here. We never do like really rigorous hiking. It's really not that hard. If you want to get your hiking on, we can, give you a path that might be harder. But most people we find, we're looking for the cultural experience, a little bit of nature, and not too strenuous a hiking activity. Although one of the hikes we went on, there was 500 steps to climb up to a temple. And I stayed at about step 250 and took pictures of people coming down. So no shame in that if you want to do that. Then we head down to Ninh Bình, which to me was just the most fabulous experience because the hotel we stay in, this Clotilde Hotel, which is owned by a woman, is an embroidery themed hotel. And I happen to be into embroidery lately. I don't know why. I'm into that whole painting with thread concept, what people are doing, with art, really making embroidery into art. So you'll see in Vietnam, in Hanoi, you'll see a lot of the traditional kind of Asian looking embroidery, but here it's super, I guess, more Western taste, with little coral patterns and beautiful things that you can do. You can take an embroidery class there right at the hotel. And then everybody has a balcony like this. You can sit out and eat overlooking these karsts and overlooking the fields there and overlooking the town. It's really beautiful. The pool is very nice, very small. It's a very small boutique hotel, but just exquisite. Oh, this is the type of embroidery we're doing. So the one she's doing on the right is more like what they do down in Hanoi. But this, I made a cocktail napkin like this because it takes about, a couple hours to make one cocktail napkin. But they have a beautiful shop in the store too with incredible things to buy that are embroidered or not. And if you like to shop, man, this is the trip for you. It's wonderful. And then we go, oh, sorry, this picture is a little bit out of place. We go on a sampan ride. This picture comes a little bit later. It's when we're in Halong Bay. But we go on a sampan ride and we go up past some lotus flowers that are just blooming in the morning. It is such a gorgeous ride. It's just breathtaking. And then we go into a little cave, come out. The women who paddle for us show us their little artwork, and we can either buy or not. There's no pressure ever to buy anything, but it's really a nice experience. We go to what used to be the ancient capital. They've fixed it up again, and it's there's a temple in there with this incredible like not mosaics, carvings like on the walls and the ceiling. And we visit it at night, so it's very dramatic when you see this. This is what the town looks like, and this is the temple. We were just inside. It is such a beautiful place, but we just go and spend, an hour there and check out the area just because it's so different from anything we see elsewhere on the trip. It was just a surprise. We added it at the last minute, but the women who went on this really loved it. Then our favorite part of this trip is the cruise. You'll read about How Long Bay, but Bai Tu Long Bay is back farther. So it's not How Long Bay. A lot of it, it's very crowded. There's a lot of boats and it can be very dirty. But these two boats that we're on, the Dragon Legend 1 and 2, we're only on one boat, obviously, but if you see that wide shot of that boat, that's what our boat looks like. And this was an actual moonrise, from our boat, from the deck of our boat one night. It's just all breathtaking. They set up dinners for us that are just exquisite. I mean, look at how they serve us there. It's just beautiful. And the food, you just cannot even believe how good the food is on this boat. Well, I think all of us were a little bit hesitant about, how good can this food be? It's on a little boat in Vietnam, but man, it was fantastic. And then we've added this year. We haven't been to this yet, but this is the Bear Rescue Center. We just added it as a little added attraction for this year. I think it'd be really interesting. Love to see the bears, see what they do to help them. Have a little nature and a little wildlife too. Then we come back to Hanoi and we say goodbye. And some people last year went on and did other countries in Asia, stayed for another couple of weeks. But this trip is, one of our longer trips. We do drive in the bus from Hanoi to Sapa, and from Sapa to Ninh, but it's never very long. And you're never in the bus for more than an hour and a half, 2 hours. And it's a big bus, so you have plenty of room to spread out. And it's a good way to get to know other women too on the trip. You can just have a nice conversation on our bus ride. Here's some more beautiful photos of Vietnam to get you in the mood. These are the steps you climb up to the little temple there, the 500 steps. Okay, so that is it. Who has a question?
I have one. I'd like to hear a little bit more about
Elizabeth, for some reason, I can't hear you, Elizabeth. I don't know why.
Let's
see.
Can everybody else hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes, I can hear you. Go ahead.
The 3-day cruise, can you talk a little bit more about what we do during the day? Are we getting off the boat and doing activities during the day?
Yes, yes. So you get on the boat at lunchtime and they serve you lunch, and then you can just relax in the afternoon. And they have little talks where they, excuse me, let me drink some water. They'll talk about the history of the area. They play little games. And then I can't remember. Oh, the chef comes out with special carvings that he does with parrots and all this crazy kind of exotic carvings, and talks about that. And then we have dinner. And the next day, we get off the boat and we go kayaking. And we actually, maybe it's the same day that we arrive. But anyway, we do go kayaking. And I'd never been in a kayak before. So fortunately, I had somebody who knew what they were doing behind me. And I got a little wet, but it was fun. And we just paddle around a little bit. And it's really nice to be down on the water and looking up at the karsts, and you just feel more that you're in the swim of things, when you're on the water. And then the next day they prepare a beach, not a roast, but what do you call it, like a beach grill thing. And they set up tents, they bring all the stuff. You go over there, you can go swimming, you can go climbing around on the rocks if you want to. And that morning, actually, there's a Tai Chi class on the upper deck of the boat as well. And so that's a lot of fun. And then the last morning, we go out along this, it's called the Water City or something. And it's an old city, for hundreds of years old, where the people still live in these stilt houses. And then they take us past it's also UNESCO protected. There's nothing around there. There's no motorboats. There's no like fishing boats or anything. It's just us going through there, maybe with one or two other boats that are exploring the same area. And then we end up at a dock where there's a little pearl shop. Last year we went to, in Halong Bay, we went to a pearl area where they showed us how the pearls are, cultured and everything. But man, it was like going to Walmart. There were 20 buses, hordes of tourists. It was such a horrible experience. And we said, we are not doing that this year. Don't mind going to the small place. We'll go through the little stilted, stilt city, and then go into the small pearl shop where you can buy things. And it's nice. The quality is really nice. And also very affordable. People bought some really beautiful, affordable pearl items there. But yeah, you won't be bored. You won't be bored on the boat. And the rooms are really beautiful. And you can sit in your window and just, watch it goes really slowly when it's moving. So you can just sit there and, oh my God, it's just breathtaking. I can't tell you. It's just amazing.
Do you have any photos of the rooms on the boat?
Yes, there are photos on the website. You can go on the Dragon Legend website.
What's it? Dragon Legend?
Dragon Legend, yeah. Mm-hmm.
All one
I'll
word?
put the link in the chat.
Okay. So I'm assuming that on the boat we all have our own room?
Now, that is a question. I think if you had a single on the rest of the trip, you get a single on the boat, but they don't have as many singles on the boat as they do. Let's see. What was it, Marcy? Was it everybody who had a double got a double, and everybody who had a single got a single on the boat? Is that right? I'm
I
pretty
think
sure
so.
that's-
That's my memory.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure that's true. Yeah. If so, it's whatever you had, it rolls the whole way through.
Okay, and I'm assuming that on the boat that we would be provided with all 3 meals, whereas on land, we're not.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, you get
Yeah.
breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Yeah. Mhm.
Yeah.
And so you get lunch the first day and dinner. Second day, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Third day, breakfast and lunch.
Mhm.
No, third day breakfast, big breakfast though, because we get off at lunchtime.
Got it.
Mhm.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm. Anybody, and where are you from, Elizabeth?
In Raleigh?
Oh, that's right, you said Raleigh.
Yeah.
So, and you heard about this from your friend who is on here.
Yeah.
All right.
Oh, I do have one more question.
Yeah, sure.
Is there any Wi-Fi on the boat?
Yeah,
Oh, there is?
I
Oh,
couldn't operate. I could not operate on these trips.
okay.
However, I would advise you to do a VPN when you're in Hanoi and anywhere on the trip. It's actually a good idea when you're traveling internationally, do it anyway. But I would definitely advise using a VPN
Can
and
you-
don't access financial stuff when you're over there
Okay, can you explain why you think a VPN is needed?
because hackers.
Okay, but if we're not sending anything that we consider confidential, if we're just saying hi to our family.
Yeah, no, that's not an issue. I'm dealing with, business stuff
Yeah.
and stuff like that. Yeah.
Okay,
I just checked the rooming configurations on last year's trip, and I can confirm everybody who had a single in the hotels also had a single on the boat.
Yep.
thank you.
But y'all are thinking about a double, right, Elizabeth?
No. we're
Oh,
gonna
you're
be-
thinking about singles. Okay,
Yeah.
2 singles. Okay. All righty. Terry, any questions
And
from you?
I put the link in
Oh,
the
sorry.
chat for the cruise.
I see that,
Oh,
thanks.
thank you so much. Yeah, we were on the Dragon Legend too, but the boats were identical. Terry went black.
I have a question.
Yes,
Uh,
Miss Leanne. ¿Qué quieres?
Quiero preguntar, I already signed up for the trip. I'm very,
Yes,
very
you
excited.
did. Very exciting.
Very excited. I have many trips planned. I've been looking at flights and stuff.
Yep.
You've been back and forth to Asia, I'm assuming many times. Do you have a preferred airline that you think is best? I'm coming from LA, so it seems like that not complicates, but I don't want
No.
to take a 40-hour flight.
Let me just say that the connections to Hanoi are terrible, no matter where you come from. They're just
Okay.
terrible.
Okay.
So it's either going to be an 8-hour layover or a 12-hour layover. When I was coming back, I came Starlux, which is a new airline. I flew them from Hanoi to Taipei, and then I had a 12-hour layover in Taipei, and then came
Yeah,
to
the coming back seems bad. The getting
Yeah.
there didn't seem that bad.
It may not be too bad. I was initially booked on American, and an hour before the flight was going to take off, they canceled it. So I came back the next day, they canceled it again. So they sent me the other way around the world. I was supposed to go to Tokyo and go through that way. They sent me to Doha on Qatar Airlines.
Wait, what's Doha? That's
in
Dubai?
Qatar.
Qatar. Okay.
Qatar. And so, which was actually a very nice airline. But
That's forever though.
that was, well, it wasn't that much longer, honestly. It really was not that much longer. So when I lived in Korea and I was coming back and forth to LA, I would
don't do
take United, I would take American. But American has gotten so unreliable with their,
Yeah.
and that's who I had booked to Tokyo. So I would say Asiana is a good airline. I would
I've been looking
avoid
at that one.
KAL, Korean Airlines. They're just bad food and not a very good airline. I say that having lived there. I've flown it a few times, but I don't like it very much. Asiana, I also don't like China Air. So I would stick with United or American if you have to, or this Starlux. I had a great experience on Starlux. Great experience. Even though the layover was long, it was worth it.
Well, like I said, I've been looking at the flights. It seemed like to get there, there was maybe a 1 hour layover somewhere.
Wow.
That's good, right?
That's
I
very
think and I
unusual.
think it was in Narita or somewhere. It was nice. But then the way back, I mean, you go from 18 hours and the way back should be faster because you're going the other direction. And, 35 hours, I just can't. So
Yeah.
I'll figure it out, but I appreciate your advice because I know you've done the trip so many times.
Yeah, sure. It's really, I mean, if you're going coach, I would say at least try to do economy plus.
Right.
Business class is nice, but it's a lot more expensive.
Right.
But I would say, and I did just put this in the newsletter that's going out tomorrow on our Travel Tips Tuesday newsletter. I said, be careful of these business class offers for cheap flights because usually it's people buying miles from other people and it's sketchy. So
Oh, I just looked at it kind of a sketchy. I just clicked on as kind of a sketchy thing and I thought, they want your email address and your phone number to give you
Yeah.
the quote and all that. Yeah, no, I don't do that.
Well, these are consolidators, and my husband, who is in the travel business and used to work with Consolidator for business class tickets, the airlines are not offering them anymore, the discounted prices and stuff.
Right.
They were able to do that. So, so that's the way these consolidators are going around it. But just don't go with it. Either bite the bullet and buy the business class, or and honestly, I don't really think there's an advantage to buying a business class ticket early.
Oh,
Yeah,
interesting.
not too early. I mean, you don't want to go within 30 days of flight or maybe even 60 days. But I don't think between now and like July, the flights will, it'll go up that much. However, the other thing I put in Travel Tips Tuesday newsletter coming out tomorrow, try to read it, is that you should set airfare alerts for a bunch of different platforms. My favorite one is Hopper because it's on your phone. I just do Hopper on my phone. And then I find it on Hopper and then I book it with the airline directly. I never
Is
book it.
Hopper, is that an app?
It's an app. Yeah, it's a free app.
Cool.
But then I
so
book it.
helpful.
Yeah, I book it with the airline directly though, because you can't get any help from these third-party, even Expedia, Orbitz. No, you should just always find the fare and then book it with
Right.
the airline.
I'm taking notes, Jeannie.
Okay, okay, Missy. We were in Cuba together. That was so much fun.
I know it was.
Okay.
I have another one.
Yes, ma'am.
So Melinda and I were thinking about coming in to Hanoi a day early.
Good idea.
Would there be rooms at the hotel where we'll be staying so we could book those through you and just add on a room?
Just let us know.
Add
Yeah,
on
there are a lot of
thing.
people came in a day early. I'll be coming in a day early too, I'm sure.
Right.
I
And what
need
about
to, can I
transfer?
chime in there? Jeannie, we need to discuss this. We may not be able to book them for you, but we can put you in touch.
Yeah, we'll put you in touch with Vicky to
Okay.
do it.
Yeah, we can make it happen, but
Yeah.
you'll probably have to pay separately to, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Make a different booking, but then we can get our person to make sure that you can stay in the same room.
yeah.
Okay, sounds
But
good.
yeah, I can
Yeah,
give you the details.
I think I'm going to do that too, because it seems like all the flights arrive late in the evening.
Yeah. Some people came in 2 days early and some people stayed 3 days longer. So, but we can arrange it with our on the ground person. She can, work that out for you and then you just pay separately.
Now, do you do the airport transfer for us or are we on our own?
Yes.
with that? You
Yes,
do.
we do that.
So even if we come in a day early?
If you come in a day early, we will reimburse it because it's covered.
Okay, so we
Yeah.
would just get a taxi and then,
Yeah, you get a taxi. It's like $30, $40.
so the airport's not too far from the hotel?
It's about 40 minutes.
Oh, is it?
Mhm.
We're going to be getting in pretty late. But okay.
But it's not a problem. It's very safe. I didn't feel unsafe at all for 1 minute.
Yeah.
Melinda, has Elizabeth asked all the questions for you?
Oh, certainly.
Okay, good.
I'm good.
Okay, good.
Melinda, are you and Elizabeth friends? You already know each other?
Yes.
So
We
Terry
met
and
on
I,
a trip 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
I think it
on
was
a
three
next
now.
tribe,
Some
on
trips.
NextTribe or something else?
No, a different women's tour group.
What
Oh,
was
great.
it? I'm curious to know. What was the other group?
Girls Guide to the World.
Oh, I've never talked to anybody who's been on one of their trips. I'd love to talk to you about it sometime.
Yeah.
Interesting. There are so many groups, so many women's groups ever since we started doing it, even before, there are people doing it. I know a woman in Washington State who's doing trips, but they're doing 6 trips a year. We're trying to do 25 trips a year.
You're doing
Well,
so many.
Yeah, we are doing
But
so
I'm glad
many.
because I'm signed up for a lot of them.
Oh, yeah, good. Okay.
So, and either of you, if you're on the fence, this will be my Vietnam will be my 5th trip, I guess. I went to Mexico, I went to Cuba, I'm going to Colombia and Iceland, and so Vietnam will be my 5th one, and I have only good things to say about it. I'm single traveler, so I want to see these places, but I can't just go by myself. And it's a really good, you get a lot of cultural activities, and it's not like super touristy, and it's not
Yeah.
on a big bus, and you know what I mean? Like you really get to know the other women, and it's a really good, it's been a good experience for me. I'm very thankful that I found the group. So
Thank you, Leanne.
Jeannie, how many travelers will you take on this trip?
Last year we had 12. We max out at 15 or 16, I think, but it won't be as many as Cuba. We had 20 in Cuba.
I figured Cuba was big because Cuba is a lot of rules.
Yeah.
And you take as many people as you can.
Yeah.
Because Cuba's very different. Yeah.
And you never know.
But
Yeah.
even then it was fine. It didn't seem like a big group or anything.
Yeah.
Or overly big. It was fine.
Right.
I have a
Right.
question.
Yes, ma'am.
Hi. So this will be my first trip with NextTribe, and Leanne is the one that connected me with you.
We
So
know each
awesome.
other.
We've known each other for 50 some years.
Plus.
And so I'm toying with the idea of, after we end in Hanoi, is checking out the southern part of Vietnam. And are there any services that you provide or avail yourself to for people that are doing their own add-on?
We could put you in touch with Vicky, who is our on-the-ground person who arranged our itinerary. And I don't know if she does individuals, but she could refer you to somebody. She usually does groups, but she could certainly refer you to somebody. And maybe even Miss Pham could refer you to somebody too. By the way, Marcy, are you doing the names for the drawing?
Yeah, I'm all set for that, but I
Okay.
do have a question. What about Alexandra? Is that still an option?
What?
Alexandra, our travel advisor partner?
Oh, yes, of course. Yes.
Okay.
Alexandra, we have a travel agent, travel advisor, who can also work with you on things. It's just that Vicky and Ms. Pham would know the area better, but to
Right.
set up hotel, but they don't set up hotels. They would tell you where to go. Yeah, but to set up
But
hotels.
Alexandra,
Yeah.
she's a travel agent. She can do everything a travel agent does.
Yeah.
So
Excellent.
I'll put my email address in the chat, and I can connect you with her if you would like to talk to her.
Okay, thank you so much.
Terry, you're in
Should we
charge
do the
of that.
drawing?
Terry,
Yeah.
you're in charge of that part of the trip.
Okay, well, there's time to still discuss.
Yes,
what we're gonna do.
we will
Okay,
discuss.
thanks.
It
Okay.
can be hot. I will just warn you that it can be
Yes.
hot in southern Vietnam that time of year.
She
Yes.
loves that. That's
Yeah,
what you
good.
want.
Perfect. Okay.
Hotter the better.
Thank you.
Mhm.
All right, I'm showing you there's 1, 2, 3, 4 names in there. And the winner is Elizabeth.
Yay!
Oh, wow. That's
Great.
wonderful. Thank you.
Awesome.
Elizabeth, you're already booked, right?
I am not booked.
Oh,
This could
Okay.
tip me in that,
Even better.
definitely tip me in
Could
that
tip you
direction.
over. Okay.
okay.
So Elizabeth, are you a NextTribe member yet?
No.
So when you become a member, you pay $39 to become a member, but you get $100 off your trip. So it's kind of like a no-brainer. So you get the $100 off in addition to the $400 off. So you get $500 off. But if you want the $100 off, you have to become a member.
Okay.
Mhm. And what you'll do, Elizabeth, if you just go ahead and book as normal, once I see your booking come through, I will go in and reduce your balance by $400.
Thank you.
So it'll be the final balance that gets reduced.
Yeah.
And for those of you who haven't traveled with us before, we set up a WhatsApp group before the trip, maybe 2-3 months before the trip, so y'all can start talking to each other, who's coming in on what flights. We'll share all that information. Marcy's got it all organized in workbooks. We'll have everybody's phone numbers and everything in there, so y'all can get to know each other too that way. It's really, what do you think, Leanne, of the WhatsApp?
I like the
way we
WhatsApp, and everything is organized, and I guess I was a passenger princess for my whole married life, and then I wasn't, and so I get to be the passenger princess now. But the WhatsApp is very helpful, and I still keep in touch with, our Cuba group. There's still people chiming in about things here and there. It's very easy to use.
That's right. That is one of the great things. We thought about taking these groups down after the trip is over, but the women like to communicate with each
No,
other
I
still
know.
and
And so
make
like
plans.
I kept in touch with a lot of people from San Miguel,
Yeah.
and we actually have a trip planned in October to go to New Mexico for the balloon festival.
Get out.
And
Great.
so we're just kind of, I know there's a NextTribe trip for that. We're just kind of doing our own
Yeah.
thing.
But
Sorry.
No,
by
there's
the
not
way,
one.
no, we
There's
don't go to the
No.
we don't go to the
There's-
balloon festival, but it
No, but
is
there's something for
the
Santa
weekend
Fe. Yeah, there's like a Santa
after the
Fe
Santa Fe
weekend.
trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're just kind of doing our own thing. But
Fun.
these were all women that I met in San Miguel, and then two of the women actually, well, one of them who lives in New Mexico, she said, "Hey, let's all go to this balloon festival." Okay, as long as I don't have to go up in a balloon, it's cool.
Well,
I can watch. I'm happy to watch.
honestly, we love seeing that because we are travel and community for women over 45. So whether you're traveling with us or not, we love the fact that we're building community by having these trips.
Oh, there's a
And
group that formed in San Diego. I live in LA area, but there's a NextTribe San Diego. I couldn't go to their meeting, but I certainly would have. It's not far for me.
why don't you run the LA group, Leanne? We do need
Are
a
there
group
any
in LA.
LA people?
But there's
I'd be
yeah.
happy to.
But they're all over LA County. That's the only
Well,
thing.
that's the
so spread
problem.
out.
And with
But
our
yeah,
traffic, it takes 4 hours to get across
Mhm.
town.
I know. Maybe
And
we'll
Jeannie-
divide it, east and west of the 405. Go ahead.
We need to we should start working on a Colorado Front Range group because there's a lot more people I've noticed coming in from Fort Collins, Firestone. I'm in Laramie. We got Colorado Springs, Denver. So
Good. That's a
put
good
that
idea.
on our radar.
And so the other thing about building community with this, the trips that we do, is that when the women meet each other, they tend to want to keep the love going in person, not just on trips, but in person and little meetups and stuff. So we have a very active Austin group. We always have, but we have Houston, San Antonio, Asheville, New York. Somebody who came on the last trip I was on, somebody who was on our Cuba trip is from Minneapolis. And she wanted to set up something in Minneapolis. I can't remember who that was, Leanne, but we have several travelers from Minneapolis.
Was it Kathy? No.
No, Kathy's from
She's
Columbus.
from Ohio. Yeah.
Yeah, Columbus. Loved her.
Who was
Um,
from Minneapolis?
I can't remember, but anyway, so as we reach critical mass in these these cities, we try to set up groups, and therefore, when you're traveling around, even if you haven't traveled with that person before, say you want to go to Asheville, well, of course, Jeannie Ralston lives there, but say you want to go to Asheville, there's an Asheville group, you want to meet up with some women there, New York, Austin, you're
Yeah.
always welcome, in these NextTribe groups. So anyway, welcome to travel with other women groups if you like, but I don't think you're gonna find anything you like better than NextTribe, honestly. Who knows? I haven't been on the other group trips, but we did actually, a couple of years ago, we acquired a company called Girls on the Go. And we've had several of their travelers come with us, and they've said that they really like our trips. So you never know. It's hard to compare. You've got different destinations, but it just tends to be the women that are attracted to this. And I take no credit for this. It's all Jeannie Ralston. She's like a magnet for cool women, and interesting women doing interesting things. So I hope that you will find that to be true on your first NextTribe trip. And if there aren't any other questions, we will say goodbye. But I'll give you a chance to ask one more question if anybody has another question. Go ahead, Elizabeth.
One last one.
Yes, ma'am.
I'm thinking about flying from Hanoi to Seoul and staying for 2 or 3 days just to break
Yes.
up the trip.
Yeah,
Can the travel agent that you referred to earlier help me with an itinerary for that as well?
sure.
Okay.
And I can tell you some things in Seoul. I
bet
lived
you
there for
could,
2
yeah.
years. Yeah, I lived there for 2 years. But although I lived there a long time ago, but there are some old neighborhoods there you don't want to miss. So cool. That would be cool. Yeah.
Okay.
Good. Yeah, she can help you. We'll put you in touch. Okay, thank you so much, everybody. This will be recorded, and
Thank
if
you,
anybody wants to
Jeannie.
see, thank you. If anybody
great
wants to
to
see the
see you.
recording, great
Bye,
to see you
everybody.
too.
Thank you.
Bye,
Okay,
everyone. Thanks for
thanks.
coming back.
Bye
Thank
bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks. Bye-bye.